Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It is Thursday evening, and this evening we are talking communities and lack thereof, really. Um, I've been seeing a few articles that I haven't particularly read all of them, but I was reading one, and it's saying that Gen Z, which I've got no idea how old they are, but the younger generations, excuse me, are struggling with work from home now. They are looking to come back to the office or come back to the workplace because they're past sitting on their own. It's beginning to tell on them. Um, the article I was reading was talking about influencers or content creators, and it was saying that they're struggling now. They're putting this stuff out on the web, but they're getting very little sort of person to person interaction. And it made me think of, well, what did we do? And especially after what I had said last night about, youngsters working in supermarkets or restaurants or bars or whatever. That's not happening as much. Now, when I left school, we went into whatever job, but the community that we had, because obviously I was in quite a small town, we would meet up in the pubs afterwards. And there was different pubs in the town for different purposes. There was one that used to have parties and discos just about every weekend. There was the other ones which were what we called your peace baggers. And that was where the guys who had been working normally in the likes of construction or farming, they would go for a pint after work, go home, and then come back up and meet with their friends. And seemingly that happened. Patrick had told me it was like that in London. He obviously is an electrician, and he said that that's where you used to go for work, was you used to go to the pub, because all the construction trade guys would meet in the pub. They'd talk and say, "Oh, I'm looking for a sparks later, or I'm looking for a plumber later. What are you doing? Have you got time?" Etc. etc. And it was a whole thing of, that was how they got a lot of work, because they would meet up in those places. There's a lot of things like your Rotary Club, your rural, things like that. And they're not happening as much now. There's so many pubs closing, so many restaurants and stuff closing as well. And it just made me think, what are the kids doing now? When they leave school, if they go to work, where do they meet up afterwards? Or where do they meet at the weekends? Because we used to meet every weekend and go and do something. But there's not as much happening for people to do now. And certainly now that I'm older, it's something like, well, what community stuff is there for older people? And yes, don't get me wrong, there is. I mean, certainly around here, because there's a lot of people came to this area to retire. So we're quite lucky in that we've got a lot of clubs and things going. But it's still not as easy as it was a couple of decades ago or longer, when you would be walking up the high street and you would see your neighbours, or you would walk to the shops with your neighbours. You would meet in the butcher's or the supermarket. So it's one of those things, like, I get why the youngsters are wanting to go back to the office. I think there's a lot of us oldies are like, can I just work from home now? It's too much effort to commute. But it's not an easy swap. And I think it's difficult for people. It's difficult for people to have conversations. It's difficult for people to meet other people. So, yeah, that's my question today is how can we build these communities back? I mean, do we take some of the empty shops and make them into community spaces? But are people going to come and use these community spaces? Certainly, if you're in a town where your public transport's not that good, I have got no intention of walking in the teeming rain to go sit and have a cup of coffee with someone. That just doesn't happen because we're so used to now not doing that. So, I mean, even if it sounds stupid, but even if you look at your wardrobe nowadays, how many of us have the proper waterproof jacket that we all used to have when we were younger? Because we don't need it because we don't go out in the rain or the bad weather if we don't have to. Whereas we used to have to go and buy food or to go and get whatever or go and, help auntie or uncle or whatever. So, yeah, communities. I think they need built back up again. I have no clue how to do that, but I'm sure we can think of something. So that's my thought for today. So now I'm going to go and have more tea. Catch you later.